it's time for our weekly Parramatta coaching update because this story will just not end. It's supposedly, depending on who you believe, down to Jason Ryles and Josh Hannay. So they'll be appointing a rookie coach because although Hannay was an interim for a bit at the Sharks, he's never had a full-time role, I believe.
He's interim at the Sharks and the Cowboys.
There you go. I am going to go on record here, and this might be controversial. I feel like their mind was made up that it was Jason Ryles from the start, and this whole thing has been a sham.
I think they've gone in with a target saying our number one target was Wayne Bennett. Our fallback plan is Jason Ryles. But if Jason Ryles says no to us, we can't start the process all over again. Mm-hmm. So instead of putting all the eggs in the Wayne Bennett basket and then going, holy crap, now we need to have a process, they didn't want to do that for a second time. So they've identified the coaches in Checker, in Trent Barrett, in Hannay, in Ryles, Madge, and they've said, right, our clear number one target is Jason Ryles. We're going to interview everybody, and then we're going to rank them in order, but we'll leave Jason Ryles at number one, and then we'll rank everybody afterwards. And they've come out of those interviews and gone, you know what? Jason Ryles is still number one. Josh Hannay's number two. Let's ring everybody else and cut the list off, and it's down to those two now. If Jason Ryles says no, we go to Josh Hannay. If Jason Ryles says yes, Josh Hannay goes back to the Sharks. It's as simple as it's recruitment 101.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I just feel like it was Ryles or bust from the start, and I think that if they miss Ryles, Parramatta fans are going to think, oh God, it's only Josh Hannay. Now, I have a high thinking of Josh Hannay. I like what he's done at Cronulla. I like the bloke. I like the fact that we brought him to the club, chucked him to the Gorillas, and he didn't come out and say, oh, you know, the Sharks have done me dirty, I'll never speak to them again. It didn't end like the John Morris thing did, and I don't particularly blame John Morris for that either. But I think the way Hannay he's become more of a club legend now than he ever was during his however many games for Cronulla, 6 or 7 or whatever it was.
3.
Well, there you go, that makes sense. I wouldn't be too disappointed. Like I would hate to lose Hannay at Cronulla, but if I'm a Parramatta fan, I don't know if I'd be disappointed in Hannay. I'd rather him than a Barrett or a Maguire or one of these tried and tested and not fail, but not doing the best. They need a fresh set of eyes, and I like that they've narrowed it down to 2. But if they don't go with Jason Ryles, it's purely because he said thank you, but no thank you.
Someone nailed it on the timeline today, and it was when you interview Trent Barrett and when you interview Michael Maguire and when you interview Hook and when you interview all these coaches that are just, call it what they are, crap. When you interview them, it's like in the English Premier League when the teams are fighting for survival, they don't want to get relegated, so they go with the tried and tested. They ring Alan Pardew, they ring Sam Allardyce, they ring Roy Hodgson, and they just say, you've got the job for 6 or 7 months, just get us out of trouble. We don't want to come last, and then we'll interview you for the job afterwards. Meanwhile, they try and find someone else. So, yeah, good on Parramatta for not being pressured into going with Trent Barrett or going to find an experienced coach or whatever. I think, times are changing in the NRL. We're seeing lots of good young coaches coming out. Like Ivan Cleary had no experience, had one stint at Penrith that was a disaster and has come back. He's now the best coach in the game. Can't convince me otherwise. Yeah, good on him. You've got to take a punt. It could either be Carney or they could have another 10-year coach like they did with Brad Arthur.
Yep, that's good. And I think the fact that they have the bye this week, I think they'll have a new coach by the end of the bye week, just between us.